video, I'm going to talk about how to optimize bids and budgets right in Amazon Seller Central in the Campaign Manager. So we're going to jump in right in Seller Central. So we're here, sellercentral.amazon.com. This is the home page. I'm going to go to advertising and then click on Campaign Manager. Now, this is what Campaign Manager is going to look like. You have your portfolios, everything that you can see here. The first thing is, there's two ways to do this. I'm going to do it at the most basic level. You're going to click on a campaign that you want to optimize the bids for. So you're going to have to do this across a lot of campaigns. What I would do is I would sort by sales. I sort by sales because campaigns that are driving the most amount of sales are probably the most important. So let's open this one, right? I'm going to right click, open a new tab. So my campaign opens up here. You'll see my ad groups are here. I'm going to click on the ad group so I can see the keywords that I want to optimize. So clicking on the ad group here. Now on the left side, I'm going to click on targeting. Targeting is the keyword or product targets that are included in that campaign or in the ad group in the campaign. Now this is a single keyword campaign and this is what the keyword is. So as you can see, it says hard work powder. This is the suggested bid and we can see the results here. The ACoS for this keyword is 30.27% over the last 30 days. Now, depending on how far back I want to go, generally what I'll do is take a period of 7 days. But here's the one thing. The last 2 days of data aren't really accurate. Amazon says that last 72 hours of data, attribution is not correct. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a week that skips those last 2 days. So let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here's those 7 days. Click here. Now data says ACoS is 28.88%. which is fine, but let's say that this keyword had a 60 or 70% ACoS and I want to lower the bids. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and lower the bids by a certain amount. So you're going to ask me, how much should I lower the bid by? It's a very good question. There is no real answer. There's no formula because it's iteration. Right now, our bid's at $5.35. Our ACoS is at 28.88%. And we want to get that ACoS down to 25%, or we want to spend a little bit less and keep the same amount of sales. The only thing we can do is lower the bids. Now, lowering the bids, what that's going to do is move the ad from one position to the next, and then lower. So you're going to be on the top of the search, first page, then move to position 2, 3, down to the middle of the page, down to the middle of the page, all the way to the bottom, move up to page 2, and so on and so forth. And so as you lower the bid, that's going to happen, and we don't know what's going to happen with the ACoS. But what we can do is we can lower the bids by a little bit. For me, a little bit means if it's 28.88 and I want to get to 25, we can lower the bids by 5 cents, get that a little bit closer to our goal, and then monitor, look at the data. What's the ACoS now after 5-7 days? Is it there or is it not there? Now, with bigger changes, we could talk about that later, but with bigger changes, you're going to need bigger adjustments in the bid. So if the ACoS is 85% or 100%, you don't want to keep lowering by 5 cents. So maybe you go a little bit bigger by 7 and 10 cents. But the whole point being is it's an iteration process. And so you're going to lower by 10 cents and see what happens. If the result is positive, you're going to continue to do that. If the result is not positive or it's not moving fast enough, if the ACoS goes from 85 to 83 to 81 and you need bigger changes, maybe you make bigger adjustments. But it's always better to start slow and not make bigger adjustments, because lowering the bid too fast might find yourself losing all of your sales, and now you're going to increase the bids again, trying to work your way back up. So it's not a win-win situation for anyone. Now, let's go back to the campaigns. Let's open another one. HBR, new branded. Let's open up. I'm going to open up this one. HEFP, Amazon suggested one phrase. Open in a new tab, same thing. I'm going to click on the ad group, roll up the ad group, click on targeting here on the left side. Now I'm looking at the bids again. These are all the keywords and we're sorting by sales, and this is the only one that's generated sales. So there's two things that I want to look at here. Number one, I can sort by ACoS and I can say, show me all of the keywords from highest to lowest ACoS. And as I go through these keywords, if this is a good ACoS for me, I'm going to keep the bids the same or maybe increase the bids because I want to show up more, or at a higher position, get more clicks, get more impressions, and hopefully more sales profitably. If my ACoS is really high, then I want to optimize the bids. I want to lower the bids. Again, there's no right answer here for how much you want to lower by. Start small and increase the amount that you're lowering by until you hit that sweet spot for your ACoS. And remember, if you're measuring profits, if you're measuring how much your dollar amount in profit is, then you have a good sense of, are these changes helping or are these changes not helping? Now, when we're looking at keywords here who are generating clicks and spend but no sales, these ones we also want to lower them. So this is $1.13, $1.90. In this case, we've gotten 5 clicks with no sales. This is also a fun way to look at things. Right now, the spend is $5.93. A cost per click is $1.19. So on the next click, I'm probably going to spend $6 and something, right? $7 approximately. So at $7, if I make a conversion, what will my ACoS be? So if my product is $28, it'll be a 25% ACoS. So that's fine. I'll continue to lower the bids a tiny bit, or I might leave it the same. However, when I look here, I have $10 and again, no sales. And the next one would be $12, about a 50% ACoS if I convert. That's if I convert. In this case, I could say, hey, you know what? Even at 50% ACoS, that's a little bit too high for me. And then I would lower the bid. The psychology behind lowering bids is that as you move lower and lower down the page, you end up getting people who have higher buyer intent. So people who have scrolled down and they said, I don't like this product, I don't like this product, I don't like this product. Yeah, that one I like, I'm gonna click on it. And there's a much higher chance of you converting because the buyer has a higher intent versus if you're sitting right at the top and you have those window shoppers. Next up, I'm gonna show you guys how to do this a lot faster. So one way is to go through all of the campaigns, right? And obviously this is a good way because you're taking your time, you're identifying what each campaign does. If this is a branded campaign, maybe I'm not gonna lower the bids by much. If it's a main keyword campaign, I'm trying to rank, I'm not gonna lower the bids by much. But what if you just wanna do this for a lot of campaigns? What I'm gonna do is go up here, click on targeting. So I opened the targeting tab right here, right? This is targeting. And you can see every single keyword that I'm targeting over the last 30 days. Now, again, I'm gonna adjust to skip those last 2 days, go from the 17th to the 23rd. And now I see all of the keywords that I am targeting. You can see every single one here. There's 5,742 results. We can obviously add some filters to clean that up, but these are all the keywords that I'm targeting. Now, active status is all but archived. I wanna add some more filters. So first off, I'm gonna click on filter by and targeting type. I wanna choose only exact keywords. And the reason is for broad and phrase keywords and auto campaigns, there is search terms in there. So you could have in broad 10 search terms. 2 of them could be really profitable, 8 could be not so profitable. And so first of all, you want to add negatives and remove the non-profitable ones and keep the profitable ones before lowering the bids. Because if you lower the bids, you are lowering it for everything. And so you could lose some of those profitable keywords. So it's always better to add the negatives first, and then if it's still the ACoS is too high, or you go into a broad keyword, and then the 2 keywords that are generating sales are high ACoS, everything else is not profitable, you can add the negatives and then lower the bid at the same time. So let's just click on exact keywords. And another filter that I want to add is ACoS. So I want to show everything that has an ACoS of greater than whatever my desired target ACoS is, where I want to lower. So let's say it's 40%. So I'm going to put 40% here, click apply. Next, I can either click filter by, or let me show you how to do this manually. So I'm going to click on ACoS here. And as you can see, it's sorted all of the keywords by ACoS, largest to smallest. So what I can do here is I can go one by one and see, okay, this is a little bit too high for me, lower the bid here. This is a little bit too high for me, lower the bid here. These are fine, keep the bids the same, maybe increase the bids. All depends on what you're trying to do. If you're trying to lower your spend, get more profitable, I think you should only lower bids and add negatives. If you're trying to increase your spend, increase your revenue, generate more sales, feel free to add to the bid, get more impressions, monitor it here, and then look at the ACoS, make sure it doesn't get too high. Another thing that you can do is you can add a filter. So feel free to go in here, click on ACoS, and add a filter. So I'll show you right here. And then select whatever filter you want. You can say, show me keywords only that are greater than 25% ACoS. And it'll show you just these keywords. And then you can go in. And then you can go in and optimize it really quickly. Now you can use this to your advantage for keywords that you want to lower the bids for, or keywords that you want to increase the bids for. Whatever filter you want, feel free to add that. And then go into columns, customize columns, and show all of the different metrics that you like. So for me, I like to see click-through rate, I like to see cost per click, I like to see ACoS, I like to see conversion rate. These are all great metrics that tell me how good the keyword is performing. Click-through rate is obviously based on the number of impressions, how likely it is people to click on. The higher means it's a more relevant keyword. Same thing with conversion rate. Higher conversion rates usually indicate better keywords. Now the final piece I want to talk about in terms of optimization is budget optimization. So we're back here in the campaign manager. These are all of our campaigns. As you can see here, this is the budget for the campaign. If we look at sales and if we look at ACoS, we can evaluate how good each campaign is performing. Certain campaigns are performing better than others. So in my opinion, if a campaign is performing better, 4x ROAS, 3.3x ROAS, or 24% ACoS, a campaign has a low ACoS, it's generating good sales. What I'm gonna do is click here and increase the budgets. You could do this here, but you can also add a budget rule. I'll show you guys how to do that. Open this campaign in a new tab. And right here, click on budget rules. And I can create my own budget rule. And in here, I'm saying the rule is increase profitable campaigns. And I can have it on a schedule or based on performance. So I can say that every single day or every single week, increase my campaign, which obviously wouldn't make that much sense. But if I say performance, I can say starting on May 26th, every week on Monday and Thursday, I want, if the ROAS is greater than or equal to 3x, which is about 33% ACoS, increase my budget by 50%. And so what happens is, if any of your campaigns have a good return on ad spend or a good ACoS, what's going to happen is it's automatically going to increase the budget. A lot of people ask me, why increase the budget if I'm not already spending all of the budget? This is a really good question. The reason is, what I've seen anecdotally is, let's say I have a campaign, it's a $100 budget, it's spending $50 a day, and it's very profitable. If I scale that budget to $300, $400, $1,000 a day, I've seen the spend go up to $70, $100, $200, $300 a day. Even though it was never reaching or going out of budget, what happens is Amazon realizes that you have more room to spend, there's more breathing room, and you can spend more money and hopefully get more profitable sales out of that campaign. Now, the final piece is, if I wanted to do that at scale, so instead of a budget rule and instead of doing this individually, I'd click on the budgets tab. And again, I can add a filter, whatever filter you want. I can say, show me only campaigns that have a certain ACoS, which is less than 30%. And then here are the two campaigns that are less than 30% ACoS, and I can go right into the budget and just adjust the budgets here. So you can do it very, very quickly. And as long as you know what your parameters are and you know what you want to optimize, so if you know what the parameters for the bids are, what the parameters for the budgets are, there's two ways where you can either go individually into each campaign or in the budgets tab or the targeting tab and add bulk, filter, sort, and then make adjustments very, very quickly.